the opposite of what the worldview is calling us to have. It's a total opposite of the life and teaching of Christ. Here it's telling us to, basically, Paul is warning the believers in Rome. He's saying, don't overestimate yourself. I mean, how many times, and let's be honest, how many times do we actually come across a day where the thought comes into our mind, man, if I weren't around to do such and such, things would just never get done. I know many of us have that thought. Maybe it's in a role of a husband, in a role of a wife, or maybe, in my case, I'm the oldest in my house. So wherever it is that God has called you to be, that thought creeps into our heart and our mind oftentimes. But not only in material, everyday things. Here with the believers in Rome, they were also having issues with pride, also in terms of their faith. They were letting pride creep into that. And Paul had to remind them, and here we have an opportunity to be reminded also, that our salvation is based on the grace of God, and not because of any work that we do. I was talking with a co-worker, and she's a good friend of mine, and I was talking with her about this topic, and we came to the conclusion that pride, it is so very harmful. First and foremost, because it's really sneaky. What do I mean by that? What do I mean? Pride is really sneaky. Hebrews 12:1, you don't have to turn to it, but it talks about the sin that so easily entangles us. What is easy sin? If someone were asked, someone were asking you of a definition, to define sin in an easy way, how would you do that? Well, this is what I came up with. Easy sin are things that you don't think twice about doing. Things that just come to you so naturally, it just becomes part of who you are. Right? So there are many things in our life that we excuse because we do, or my mother was like that, so I'm like that. My father was like that. It's just, it's like part of my blood, basically. It's just who I am. It's everyday life. How do you spend the most of the 24 hours that Christ has given each one of us? How do you spend the most of that time? Where do you spend it? Those are the areas in life that sin can very easily sneak up on you and catch a hold of you. So I just came up with a few thoughts that I think are relevant to most of us here, not just those who are youth, but to the adults as well. And it kind of revolves around the thought, I have to be the one to do it, because otherwise, it just won't get done right. Okay? How about at work? And this is something that I've run into before. Your boss gives a major project to a coworker, and this coworker has less education than you do, has less skills, and has less knowledge than you do. But you got passed over for that project and it went to somebody else. What's a very natural thought, right? What was wrong with your boss? What was he or she thinking? They're going to just mess it up and, they're just going to come back to me and ask me to fix it anyway. Why don't you just give it to me to begin with? Right? It's a very natural thought. I'm more qualified. But where's our Christ-like attitude that believes that other people need a chance to? Other people need a chance to grow and need opportunities as well. Or how about at home? Oh, here's a touchy one, right? So I was at a Bible study several weeks ago, and the message pointed out that your family members reveal your true character. How many people can attest to that? I can. Your family members reveal your true character. They bring out the true you. At home, I'm the oldest child of my family. And when I was growing up, my younger sister Melissa had a question about why I had certain privileges that she did not. Okay? And she was always asking why. Why do you get to do that? Why did mommy and daddy let you do that? How come I can't do that? You know what my favorite answer was? I love to rub it in her face. It's because I'm older. How many old siblings, who are the oldest in their home here? I love to say because I'm older. No other reason, no other validation, just because I'm older. Well, it's been some time since then, let me tell you. I'm not really excited about claiming that fact anymore, but that was then. But back to being at home and home everyday life situations. One of the things about me, and I think my family members, I hope my family members know this by now, I hate coming home to a messy kitchen. Okay, when I come home from work, I hate coming home to a messy kitchen. And part of that is a sink full of dishes. Okay? I hate washing dishes. And my dad is smiling over there because he knows that. Okay? I hate washing dishes. And when the dishes are done, when I get home, I am just I love everybody at that time. I'm the greatest person. You ask me, I'll do anything for you. Dad's like, oh, Marlene, coffee or nothing that I'm. It's like 7 o'clock at night. I'm like, yeah, sure. You know, he washed dishes earlier today. I'll do anything for you at that time. But how about sometimes when people do step in to help me, and they don't do as good a job as I do sometimes, and that would frustrate me. They don't do, you know, sometimes it's not as clean as I do it, or it's not put away in the same place that it should be in. That's one of my pet peeves. If I open the cupboard for glasses and I see Tupperware there, I'm like, who put the dishes away today? The Tupperware doesn't belong there. Or if I open one of our bottom cabinets and I'm trying to take out a frying pan and there's a glass there, like, who put the dishes away? Man, and that's the first thought that always came to my mind. Oh, I know I didn't do that. I would never do something wrong like that, right? But eventually what I started to see is that this really leads to bitterness against people. See, the small, everyday, common, everyday, easy sin, this can lead to bitterness against people. And you know what? Oftentimes, they don't even know you're upset at them. That's the worst part. People don't even know you're angry. You're just walking around and like some huff and puff around your house the whole time. People are like, oh, what's wrong? Nothing. I mean, they don't even know why you're angry, okay? But the fact is it harms yourself in the end. So, you know, what is the takeaway message here? I think it's that the devil, actually I know it's that, the devil is the father of lies. And the devil will keep telling you that you have every right. He will assure you you have every right and every authority to go ahead and keep being frustrated and keep believing that things will just have been better if you are the one that were doing it. And, you know, once in a while that's common, right? Once in a while it's okay to let, you know, human natures come to light, and we can't avoid that. But if you're having the same problem with the same person all the time, guess what? That's not common. That's not common, and we need, as believers, see, that's what sets us apart from the rest of the world, right? How do we react to a situation that the rest of the world would be in, that believers would not be in? So we need to recognize the doors that the devil cracks open for us. Okay, and there, like I said, it could be at home, could be at school, could be at work, we never know. But the Bible does tell us that it's because of pride that even the devil lost his place in heaven. So of course he's going to do anything to help you rationalize pride. And in the end, when you rationalize pride, unfortunately, you're rationalizing sin. If the worship team could go ahead and come up. 1 Peter 5:8 tells us, be self-controlled and alert. Your enemy, the devil, prowls around like a roaring lion looking for someone to devour. And my prayer for myself, my family, and for our church, our body of Christ, is that we would be aware of the character of the enemy. Know who it is that you're fighting against. So let's get out of the way. Let's get the I out of the way and see what God wants to do through us so that He would be glorified instead.
Hallelujah. Let's stand on our feet this morning. Hallelujah. Praise you, Jesus. Hallelujah.